Hello friends, and welcome to another video. You probably already know from the title of this video that I'm going to do a Q&A about my new boobs today. I've asked on Instagram, and I asked you guys in, I think the video you guys saw before this, to ask me any questions that you guys had. I am gonna probably do an update in a couple months when I'm like further into the recovery process. Right now I am like 2 weeks and a few days post-op, so I'm really not that far removed from my surgery. Definitely still recovering. I still have like restrictions and stuff like that, but I've gotten a lot of questions, so I thought I would answer all of those questions just in one video for you guys. But let's see, I got a ton of questions, so I'm just gonna kind of answer the most frequently asked questions. And I also realized my boobs are like totally out, and honestly this bra is just really comfortable. I didn't do that on purpose. But anyways, okay, so I think these are the 3 biggest ones, and they all got asked in the same question: type, size, and cost. So you guys know implants are silicone or saline. There is also like gummy bear, and I'm sure there's some other weird ones. I got silicone implants under the muscle, so you can get under the muscle or over the muscle. I got under the muscle just because under the muscle, especially for someone who doesn't have any like natural breast tissue, like I literally had none, it looks a lot more natural. If I'd gotten them over the muscle, you probably would have like literally been able to see the implant. So I got them under the muscle, and I got silicone implants, which I feel like is most common. Nowadays every doctor I talked to did silicone implants. Size, there's like bra size and then the cc's, right? So mine ended up being 325 cc's. I didn't know that going into the surgery until after, when my doctor told me. And cc's are really irrelevant, and I keep getting asked by people how many cc's I got because they're gonna get their boobs done and they want like a similar size or something, and I'm like, don't go by like what I got cc wise, because I know people who have like 325 cc's and their boobs look huge. I know people who have 350 cc or 385 and their boobs aren't that big. It really depends on like the shape of the implant and how much natural breast tissue you have and your size, so it really depends on the person. When I went in, I told my doctor that I wanted a big B or a small C. But my sports bras, I ordered a bunch of small sports bras instead of extra smalls, and I literally could probably still wear an extra small. So I feel like they're gonna end up being like big B's, which is cool. That's what I wanted. Cost, I know some people are really weird talking about this, and I don't care. What I will say is every surgeon is going to be different. There was a pretty big range with surgeons who I talked to, and in my opinion, if it's something that's going to be in my body for a really long time, like was like 10 years, probably longer that breast implants last, I'm not gonna go the cheap route, right? Like I want a surgeon who knows what they're doing, and who is going to do good work. There's not gonna be complications. I'm gonna like how they look, right? So my surgery, I think, was just over $8,000. You always have to put like a down payment down, and I think my down payment was like 10%. You can use care credit, which is like kind of like a payment plan that I know a lot of people use, but the way I saw it was like I didn't want to get boobs unless I knew like I could afford it. It's like I didn't want to be like paying off my boobs. So I always say like, don't do something like this unless you can afford it. Like I have had in my head for so long that I wanted boobs, so I saved up for them and I got them. So that's kind of how it works. But I do know a lot of people who've gotten boobs for like literally half that price. It totally varies, but the way I saw it is like cheaper is not better. Like I would rather pay a few more $1,000s and have boobs that I love. It is my body, you know? Are they exactly like you expected or different? To be quite honest, I could not even fathom myself with boobs before I had them. Like literally already, they're still a bit sore, just like tight, but they honestly just kind of like feel like mine. I honestly never had that moment where I looked and I was like, oh my God, I have boobs. Like it was kind of like, oh, like I have boobs now. But I feel like my doctor did a really good job of making them look natural, which is what I told him I wanted. I'm so happy with them. Did I have to get a whole new set of tops, sports bras, regular bras, etc.? I honestly don't even think I'm gonna wear regular bras anymore. You can't wear a wire for a really long time, like underwire bras. I did have to get rid of a bunch of sports bras, tops. Not so, like they fit differently, definitely, but again, it's not like I got like huge boobs. Honestly, I think I'm gonna be able to wear a lot of the same sports bras and tops. They're just going to fit very differently. So one question that I got asked, I think like 50 times, was how long till I can train, or what does the recovery process look like in terms of like being able to train. So this is gonna vary a ton just depending on how your body's recovering, on your doctor. I had what's called like a rapid recovery breast augmentation, which I feel like is what most doctors do now. Like you don't really see people with like the drains and all of that kind of stuff anymore. So for me, it was 1 week until I could start like going on longer walks and doing really like cardio. I couldn't have my heart rate, I think it was over like 120 or something. Week 2, so this past week, I was able to incorporate super light legs. Like I can't hold any weight, but like light machines. They don't want me like doing anything. Like you don't even realize when you're like holding on to a leg extension or bracing your core for something, your chest engages, and you don't want that. So I'm allowed to do like really light legs and like more intense cardio. I still can't even fathom like running or anything like that. But it's 4 weeks until I have like no restrictions. For me, I think it'll probably be a bit longer, just because like I had so much chest muscle, or I have so much chest muscle, that I have to be really careful that I'm like not engaging it and like fucking up my implant. I think it'll be 4 weeks probably until I can do super light arms. Again, my doctor will tell me I'm not gonna do anything he doesn't tell me to do, but it's 4 weeks until you have like no restrictions. And I feel like for most people it ends up being longer than that, because think about it, if you're one, spending that much money, and two, it's your body, like why would you want to go through the process of like messing it up and having to do it all over again? Like, I also got asked about training chest. I will be able to train chest. Like again, I'm not gonna do anything that feels weird. I know a lot of people said, and I'll keep you guys posted on this, but back days feel really weird, just like because you're going like overhead, and like rowing things feels weird, which even doing that with like no weight feels weird. I will be able to train chest. I honestly probably won't for a while, just because mine's so developed. My doctor told me to steer clear of it for like a really long time. But I've talked to so many people, and I have friends who have their boobs done and train chest and are totally just fine. Do I have scars now? So I almost was like, showed you guys my nipple. That is not appropriate, but my implants were done through the nipple. So with breast implants, you can get them like under, you can get them through your armpit, or you can get them under the nipple. My implant was put in through my nipple. It's just like a little slit like right under my nipple. I still have tape over them. I can't take the tape off until week 3, so next Tuesday. I got my stitches out after like a few days, I think. So I don't know, I'm assuming there will be a little scar. We'll see. Next, I did get asked a lot if I got a lot of like flack for it or hate for it, which I honestly was expecting to get a lot more hate than I have. And I'm sure a lot of people have unfollowed me, or I have gotten some like mean comments or DMs or whatever. And most of it is from people being like, I just admired you for being so confident, being flat-chested, and like you promote self-love and all this stuff. Like, why would you get boobs? And I kind of talked about this in my last video, so I'm not gonna go into detail, but honestly, like, I'm so happy with them. Another question I got asked, like, I love them. It's something I did for me. It's something I really wanted for a long time, and you guys have been so supportive. Like, I feel like the majority of these that aren't questions are just you guys saying that my boobs look good, which like, it's kind of weird, but thank you. And I get so many DMs of people being like, I know this sounds really weird or like pervy, but your boobs look really good. And I'm like, thanks, man. The hate that I do get, I understand everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but again, it's something that I did not because I was unconfident with small boobs. And honestly, I feel like more me with them. And I kind of talked about just how like me not having, like, I literally had nothing. It was kind of a consequence of my eating disorder, and so it's kind of like related to that as well too. Like I just was like, I literally feel like a child. What size were you before? What size did you get? How did you decide? Before I literally had a nipple. Like I had nothing. I couldn't even fill out an A bra. So that was before. Now I'm assuming, like I said, I'm a big B, small C. How did I decide? I just knew, like, I did not get my boobs for competing or for like fitness stuff. I know a lot of people in the fitness industry have their boobs done. It's something like I honestly wanted to do before I even was like in this industry. I just knew I wanted them for me. And like I said, a lot of people were like, oh, you're gonna wanna go bigger. Like you're gonna want like big boobs. Didn't. Like I really just wanted boobs that made me feel like proportional and made me feel feminine. I don't want anything that's gonna like get in the way. I wanted something that fit with my frame. I don't want to, how I like explained it to my doctor is like, I don't want to walk in a room and have it be like, oh, Lexi got her boobs done. Like I want them to look natural, and that was something a lot of doctors had issues with just because I had no breast tissue, so it's really hard to make it look natural. But that was a big reason I chose my surgeon. He knew how to do it. And I think he did like an amazing job. This bra doesn't do him justice because it's just like literally no support, but I'm so happy with them. I just decided based on like what I knew would be proportional with my frame. Like I could not pull off like huge C's or D's. Like maybe I could, but it would be like there's Lexi with the boobs. It wouldn't be like just there's Lexi. Like I want it to be like no one knows I have fake boobs unless they know me, you know? Have you still been tracking macros, the same bulking ones? So you guys know I took like a week and a half-ish off of tracking after my surgery. Now I'm back to tracking. I'm not doing bulking macros because I can't train, so I'm like not gonna be putting on muscle. I'm still eating a decent amount because we don't want to lose muscle, and one sure as hell way that you're gonna lose muscle is if you're eating in a deficit and not training. So I was probably under eating a little bit like the first few days after surgery, then I got my appetite back and it probably did vary. Now I'm back to eating probably like just above my maintenance calories. Before and after photos, I am not posting my boobs on the internet. No. But I don't have after photos because they're still a little bit bruised and inflamed. Difference between under the muscle implant and over the muscle. Under the muscle, it's under your muscle, so it does tend to be harder to recover from and more painful. But it also does tend to look more natural, especially if you don't have a lot of natural breast tissue. So if you already have boobs and you get bigger boobs, you're probably fine going over the muscle. For me, you would literally probably like see an implant and it would be super like round, if that makes sense. Next question, how did you pick a surgeon? So see multiple surgeons, please. I think I saw like 5. I saw a few here in San Diego, and then I saw a couple back home in Chicago. I actually was gonna get surgery at a doctor back in Chicago. I put a down payment down like a year ago, which I thought I was gonna get my boobs done then, and then I decided I wanted to prep, and it just didn't make sense when I should be like taking time to build muscle before I start prep to get boobs. I also wanted to make sure I could recover from them because I personally feel like a lot of issues, like everyone who I know who's had complications with their boobs, it's because they get it right after a dieting phase or right before one, like an intense dieting phase. So I didn't want to be in that position. But I ended up going with Dr. Chassan at Ranch and Coast Plastic Surgery here, just because I went and saw him a couple times. I had a couple of friends who went and saw him, and I just felt so at home there. If I got them done in Chicago, it would have been because that's where my family was, and that's what my mom wanted me to do. But talk to different doctors. I wanted someone who I could go see, and that was another reason I got them here. And I honestly just felt like very at home. I read a ton of reviews, not just like on the website, but like look at Yelp and stuff, seriously. And make sure that they're there to answer all your questions. Like Dr. Chassan, my surgeon, was so professional. He's so caring. Like I've definitely been in for more like follow-ups than most people just because I am like healing kind of slowly. He's just been so caring and like so professional and just so awesome, and yeah, that's why I chose him, because I had no doubt that he would give me the boobs that I wanted, okay? So, next question that I'm going to cover, and this is one I got asked again a bunch, and I do want to address it, but is my thoughts on breast implant illness. I 1000% think it is a thing. I 1000% think it is a thing. I know people personally who had to get their boobs out because they had breast implant illness, but I think it's way more rare than we make it out to be, and most of us are in this fitness bubble, right? So you see a couple people who have breast implant illness, and it's like, oh my god, now like everyone has breast implant illness, right? I think it's just a very hot topic right now, and it's always existed, right? But all of a sudden there's this huge fear of breast implant illness. It did cross my mind, and it was the reason that I waited so long to get my boobs. And I did talk to like every doctor who I saw about it. Of all the doctors I saw, there was one that had seen a couple cases of it. And what every other doctor said is like, is that really like the most common issue is something going on with like the breast implant shifting, or something wrong with like the capsule. And the second I notice like kind of health issues and I like can't get to the bottom of it, I will get these suckers out in 0.5 seconds. But I also think that it would just be silly for me to be like, oh, there's, and not silly, because I totally would understand if someone was like, there's a like 0.1% chance I could get breast implant illness. I'm not gonna do it. Like, I would be like, mad respect, you know? But for me, it just didn't make sense. So yeah, I 100% think it's a thing. I 100% think there's a risk with like anything you do. But I also think that it's kind of exacerbated, like this risk, just because of the little bubble that we're in. So you see like two people and it seems like it's this huge thing, when in reality, like most people don't even know what breast implant illness is because no one they know has it, you know? Was it embarrassing having a guy doctor? I never really thought about it. No. He's like a plastic surgeon. Like, he's seen way weirder shit than my boobs. How long did the surgery take? I think the actual surgery was like 30 minutes. I was there for a couple hours because you have to like do like pre-surgery, pre-op stuff and post-op stuff. Was your family supportive of it? So yes, I think they're like more concerned, like they're just like, please be safe, recover. But like I said, my whole family has like really small boobs, and they know I've wanted them done for a long time. Like, my family's honestly been super supportive, and they're not paying for it. It's not their body. My family was super concerned, like I was gonna get big boobs. Like, my mom was literally gonna fly out here because she was like, I want to watch your surgery and make sure that they do not put big boobs in you, because they were just like, it looks so unprofessional when that happens. And I was like, dude, chill. I'm not trying to go get big knockers. Can we see them? No, not the internet. No, no. Did I go high profile? No. I wouldn't say low profile. My doctor did it, like, you kind of like rated how like high profile / like round you wanted them. And I said like 2 out of 5. One, I don't want them up in my face because I want them to look natural. But I also looked like a ruler. Like, I just have that like straight up and down body. So I wanted something that was gonna be a little bit out on the sides. Not like a gap, but like I wanted, you know, some like shape. Okay, and then last thing is, what's the hardest thing about surgery? And honestly, I think it's just being careful after, and not just like not going to the gym, which I don't know why everyone is so concerned about that. Like, yeah, if you get surgery, like, you're not gonna be able to go to the gym. Like, if that's that big of a concern to you, you need to work on like the mental side of things, right? Because for me, like, this is something I've wanted done for years. So having to take like a month or 6 weeks or 8 weeks or a few months away from training at full capacity, like, that's not the end of the world to me. And I will say, like, the first like week and a half, when I literally couldn't do anything besides go on like a few minute walks, I was just going stir crazy because I work from home too. So like, I wasn't leaving my apartment, and like I couldn't like do anything really. I'm used to being like out and about and having energy, and I just like didn't have the energy, or like couldn't do much. And it is hard just like having to be so careful. And again, I know so many people, or I know people who've like messed things up, and I think that's the hardest part, is like now especially, like, like I said, like they just kind of like feel like mine, right? But that doesn't mean I can go lift things in the gym or even carry like a big trash bag outside. Like I still have to be super, super careful. So this is so long and I have so much editing ahead of me, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Again, I will do like a follow-up. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little booby Q&A. And, oh, I also wanted you guys to know, I wanted you to know that our Diet Cherry Limeade merch launched today. It'll be a few days after. And we have this gold color and then a light gray. And I will put the link to purchase these in the description box. You have until Sunday the 21st to order these, and then they will all ship out, but they are the softest, coziest sweatshirts ever. And then I took it off and wanted to look cute for the boob Q&A, even though I'm literally a potato. It's a Friday night and this is what I'm doing. But super cute. Hop on the Diet Cherry Limeade train. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking through this video. I know it was a long one. I'll keep you updated and I will see you guys in the next one.